Hello and welcome back to another episode of D&D Horror Stories. I want to thank you very much for clicking on this video. I appreciate it and makes the channel just that much bigger. And I want to say a special thank you to the couple of you that stick around until the end. And without further ado, let's start reading. As the 1-year anniversary of this event is approaching, I feel it's time I finally share my D&D horror story. Last year, me, 18, female, asexual, was invited to join my first official long-running campaign by my friend, male, 16, female, or M. Friend M. Sorry, I read that wrong. Friend M. 16 female, who is running a campaign she spent 2 years writing. This is where the creepy dude, who I'll call CD, comes in. We all did a light one-shot to introduce our characters, and it went fine. No red flags from anyone, but it was after all this when it started to happen. We had our first session and CD started making really weird comments about and to my character, saying very inappropriate things and consistently hitting on her despite the fact that I just asked them to not do so multiple times. It continued. I talked with M about CD after the session and she said that that's just what CD does and she'll talk to them. A few days later, another party member had a one-shot that he was running, and while we were playing, CD continued to say similar things to me and my character. I played as a male character, hoping it would stop it from happening, but this time it was much more blatantly aphobic. Lots of comments about how I'm taking the fun out of the game and they play a bard and yada yada yada. CD was also being very rude about the religious backgrounds of party members. It all came to a head at the graduation party. My mom got a custom cake made with my senior portrait on it, and I invited my D&D group, which had to include CD. Because I couldn't exclude one person that's rude at the party. At the party, CD went around trying to take decorations for themselves and kept talking about how excited they were to eat my face, meaning the cake, and being a complete creep. This also is where CD apparently learned that I was older than the rest of the group. I hoped this would stop the harassment, but it only got worse because I'm a older woman. Ew. So I eventually left the D&D campaign with full support from M and became the first to leave because CD was apparently doing that to other players and the campaign fell apart. A moment of silence for that really good campaign that M spent 2 freaking years on that never concluded. I'm starting a new campaign with the same group, excluding CD this month because nobody wants to play with them anymore. Damn. Yeah, I'm glad you got out of that. I mean, maybe it was more natural the way you got out. Not many people can or do get out of a bad situation like that, but yeah, this CD guy, he seems like the kind of guy you don't want to invite back to the party. And it was really nice of you to not exclude him, but that would have just like reading this, it would have been the straw that broke the camel's back, because I could not imagine inviting someone to my party just for them to start taking things and going around saying they're gonna eat my face after being already weird in the D&D party, in the D&D group, essentially. but I'm glad you started a new campaign. Most players end up having a bad experience and stop playing altogether. So I'm happy you got back into it, or at least that is what it says at the end there. This next story comes from Sabin Avon or Sabinavin, something like that. My entire OG party is gone and I feel empty inside. So, it's as I said. At various stages of the campaign, people from the table have had other game problems. How the campaign was run by our DM. Our interpersonal problems with the DM, or had interpersonal problems with the DM, and now it seems my original group is all but gone. Yeah, we have collected some new players, but it seems like I will be the only one left from session 1. It does say season 1, and I don't know how to feel about it. I don't want to leave the table. I don't have hard grievances with the DM and don't want to make him feel worse than he already probably does, but playing my dear boy, my first D&D character ever, just feels hollow without my friends who eased me into D&D. The thing is, it's always have been couples in our table. One member leaves, then so does the other. So with the mathing, you got 4 full members gone. The first couple left very early on. The guy was pretty toxic and wanted to run things his own way, which ended in his character turning against the whole party and wanting to defend the BBEG or the BBG in season 1 at level 3. So at the time it made sense for him to want to leave. It simply wasn't his type of table. His girlfriend left with him. The second couple is made up of my friends, one of them whom I consider quite close and dear despite the short time knowing each other, a year tops. I don't even know how to play my character in this state. I think the most reasonable thing would be him crashing the fuck out, kind of like I am right now, I guess, because these are his found family. But on the other hand, the newest members may fucking hate that. No? So maybe I just retire the character, but that would also hurt a ton because it seems like a reasonable path. Any options, any advice, any idea how I can fix this mess? I'm still friends with the girls and seem to be about to leave, but I don't want to poke around their personal issues because they are quite reserved, unlike my DM, who definitely should talk less and listen more. He is too much of a nosy gossip, for sure, which has contributed to the current mess. Anyways, posting because I need to vent a little, but would also like to hear opinions and advice, to be fair. I am in the spectrum, so this type of social situations make me really miserable, and I may be making a big deal out of something fully natural. TLDR, all the OG members of my party left because in some shape or form they had disagreements with the DM, and I feel super torn and sad about it. Yeah, that does suck. Couples are something that are tricky in D&D groups because you feel as if one of them leaves, the other will, and this seems to be proving the point here because two couples have come in and left, which is sad. It is nice that you're still at least friends with the girls, but as like a character, if you're thinking your character is gonna crash out or something like like your character is like I don't think your character's the problem here, or you should do stuff with your character. It does make sense that they would have problems with a new group of people coming around, but that's easily fixed with some RP, some roleplay. But my advice is talk to your dungeon master, see what issues they find, I guess, with the current party members, or how things went down. You can always try and mend like problems, but it constantly seems like they have issues with the DM, so maybe you're not seeing those issues. So you might want to talk to him about that, but that's all I got for that. This one comes from Dr. Petter, and it is called Unused and Uncomfortable. So I don't know how much of a horror story this is, but I would like to get it off my chest. For context, I, 21 male, am playing a human wizard, generic, I know, but it's my first character. My group is level 9 and have been playing for about 5 years, but only have sessions every 4th month or so. The last session was over a year ago with hollow promises of another. I just feel that this is a good time to post and not have to worry about ridicule for complaining. The last almost 4 sessions we have had have all been half thrown together RP sessions that have 0 combat and very little item gain. I think they were mostly just ploys to keep things rolling. I like RPing as much as the next player, but I enjoy the combat and exploration the most. The last couple of sessions, though, were not entertaining, to say the least. I get that every player has parts of their story where the character needs the attention to play on their story. That's not my issue. My issue is that that's not my issue. My issue is that every time my character would try to participate in RP parts, he would be told to quiet down and just auto-failed all rolls that were dialogue based in an RP session, practically every roll. Jesus. At one point, my DM introduced a few female NPCs that were described in detail, very voluptuous. I've experienced this in the past, but the detail and emphasis made me very uncomfortable. I talked to my DM in private afterwards and told him my grievances, but was told not to backseat DM, and he would detail NPCs as he felt. 2 of the players started to flirt with them. To feel I was participating in jokingly asked to flirt with one of the NPCs, DM told me that to roll, and I rolled a 19. Not a bad roll, but failed anyway. And then was told to sit back and listen to the story. So I did for the next hour and a half. I muted my mic and played games while listening. My name never came up, was never asked anything, was never told anything. And at the end of the session, I unmuted my mic to participate in the end of the session discussion. However, many had plans, so the DM said goodbye to every single player but by name but me, and promptly left the chat. I was left by myself in this. This has happened in a session before as well. So for the past 4 sessions, half-baked up sessions that no gain in item, money, or loot. The last 2 of those, I was told to sit back and not participate. I've had issues with this DM in the past, but overcame them and put them aside. That, however, made me just want to start participating for all of it. I like D&D, and I don't want it ruined by one bad campaign, but it's made me very, very hesitant to play any more or seek out others to play. I just wanted to get how I felt about this and maybe get some insight on what to do am I overreacting? I don't think you're overreacting. I think this DM has it out for you. This DM seems honestly horrible. This DM seems a bit I think he pulls pretty much every session out of his ass. The fact that you guys play like once every 4 months and you're waiting for that, it's not worth it. Imagine, like, I cannot imagine waiting 4 months just to sit. I don't know how long your games play, but for an hour and a half of just not talking and playing another game, like, kind of, and then coming back just to say bye to everyone, and then he doesn't even say bye to you. It seems like he's targeting you. It seems I think he wants you to quit. I think he is trying to get you to quit, or telling you that you can't play anymore, or he doesn't want you to play anymore without blatantly saying it to your face. I can't imagine, sitting there and it's just an entire session of RP. It's pulled right out of his ass. He describes a bunch of women and they're all like flirting with everyone else but him, and it's making you uncomfortable, and you said it was uncomfortable and he did nothing about it. Yeah, dude. It's bad D&D. You don't have to play, and it is better. It is better to just quit. All right, that'll be it for today. I want to thank you all for showing up and listening. I'm getting better at this. Hopefully I'm getting better than this, or at this, because again, it all depends on if you guys watch to certain points, like and comment, and of course subscribe. With that being said, I want to thank you guys all for coming in, watching the video, listening to the video. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.